the first half of this episode was crazy. Prepare for even crazier. This is the Analog Matrix podcast. They are also bringing in a clip from Isabel Brown, who's like a popular conservative commentator. So this is a clip that we've taken describing IVG. Before I get into it, so a little bit of a description of what we're getting into. Tonight's conversation takes us into a territory that feels less like public policy and more like science fiction. Except it's not happening in a movie script. It's happening right now in real laboratories with real technology. We're talking about IVG, in vitro gametogenesis. I know I'm messing that up, but I'm never going to use it, so it's not for me to know. The ability to create sperm or eggs from ordinary body cells. Now, on paper, it's being discussed as a pathway to expand fertility options. More importantly, including for same-sex couples. But once you step past the headline, you realize this isn't just IVF 2.0. This is the industrialization of human creation. This is the point where reproduction detaches completely from the human body and moves fully into the laboratory. We're talking about the ability to make embryos in petri dishes, not just a few, but potentially thousands. And when you scale something like that, the ethical questions don't just grow, they multiply. Because if human life can be generated in bulk, what safeguards exist to prevent selection, experimentation, or disposal on a scale we've never seen before? What happens when reproduction becomes manufacturing? And here's where it gets even more unsettling. With IVG, you're not limited to one generation. In theory, cells from lab-created embryos could be used to create the next generation, and the next, and the next. Closed-looped human lineages, conceived, created, and developed entirely outside natural reproduction. Generations of people who begin not in families, but in facilities. And the long-term biological effects, we wouldn't know them. Not really. Side effects, genetic instabilities, developmental complications, these are all things that could take decades to surface. By the time problems appear, society could already be miles down the road with no exit ramp. Past the point of recall, past the point of reversal. Because once a technology like this embeds itself into medical, legal, and commercial systems, it doesn't go away. It expands. And that's why tonight's discussion isn't just about fertility innovation. It's about whether humanity is prepared ethically, legally, culturally, for the consequences of turning reproduction into a laboratory process. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it here to the Analog Matrix podcast and Isabel Brown.
You guys ready for IVG? Same-sex marriage couples now, they can have children, real children of their own. All they need is IVG.
I just went down the rabbit hole for IVG. IVG stands for in vitro gametogenesis, or making gametes, aka sex cells, entirely in a petri dish to make more human beings. No procreation required. One of the main reasons that this technology is currently being developed is to allow for genetic offspring of a same-sex couple to be genetically related to both of them.
Because we needed that so badly.
I mean, I was asking for it.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the only thing that had me open to letting this type of familial structure ruin a child is because there's childs that need homes, and that adoption is where you can blur the line.
Right.
That's where you can blur my line.
Yeah.
Is I got a child that needs a home, and I can't find enough homes. So in a world where that problem, you're the solve, we're not going to replace that and make the initial problem worse. Now we're going to have less homes for the kids that need one.
Yes.
Because the faulty familial structures that can't make them themselves are just going to go buy one off of Craigslist.
Yep.
That's insane.
And you might be saying to yourself, that's impossible. 2 men or 2 women cannot possibly have a child that's genetically related to both of them. So now, I guess, because we are literally developing the technology to harvest pluripotent stem cells from 2 men or 2 women, manually differentiate those cells in a laboratory into sperm cells and egg cells, then use IVF technology entirely in petri dishes in a laboratory to make new human beings.
People have talked about so-called multiplex parenting. You could use IVG to create 2 embryos, use the IVG technique again to create sperm and eggs, and then create yet a 3rd embryo. Now you have essentially what is genetically a grandchild.
And they murdered the 2 other embryos.
Exactly. And you can do this as many iterations as you wanted, that you could create a child whose biological parents, grandparents, great-grandparents were all embryos that were created and destroyed in a laboratory.
He could be creating entire generations of people that nobody even knows exist outside of a laboratory.
People can be made on a conveyor belt now. En masse.
Can I say something? Because where I think this will eventually go,
What's that?
people are going to make armies with this.
I didn't even think of that.
That's immediately where I went.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't they?
God's chosen people just got a lot stronger.
I'm just saying, it sounds like you can make infinite amount of individuals doing this.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you?
But, you know,
You just put
it's one thing to make a baby. It's another thing then to raise it into Leonidas. I don't think it's possible because a Roman child was raised until they were 13 and then sent into the wilderness to live on their own, and they'd have to kill a wolf and come back. There's some crazy shit. I don't know.
I saw it in a movie.
Do you know how many wolves we'd have to find for that?
Well, it sounds like they can make wolves.
It's either that or you got a drunk father that beat you for 13 years. And then you're like, there's nothing else for me but the army. And it's like, yeah, son, get on out there.
I don't have a rebuttal.
You don't.
You stumped my point.
The practical. No, you're right. This is creepy. Madagascar is going to be cleared of all of the tribal people and the lemmings just so they could raise an army of God's chosen people. And they could just place them anywhere.
Well, that's the thing. It's all you need is a private island.
I know a couple for sale.
I know one with a Pokestop
and a temple. You could train them in the temple.
That's what I mean. You just put 3,000
lemmings? Oh no, babies.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, and just leave them there. No one knows they're there, and you're just programming them from a young age. That's what Star Wars essentially did.
100%. That's what Call of Duty did. Call of Duty's got a whole bunch of kids ready for it, and they don't even realize. Like those that the people that made the game don't even realize they've made a whole bunch of dormant people just like, I'd love to get out there, soldier.
Yeah, but what I meant by Star Wars is they literally made clones.
Fair.
You brought up Call of Duty. I was like, no,
I thought you were meaning like the people that are watching are like, I love war.
No,
Star Wars.
I thought he meant the Jedi because he was talking about kids and having them from
Well,
a young
that as
age.
well. Like, it's their own.
And then,
though, is a good
It's
point.
their own religion. You make a giant religion of people on this island, and they think it.
And then when you got to call Order 33, you could clear them all out if necessary.
Yes.
Order 66.
It is impressive you halved it. I will give you that.
I just literally went with a Mason number, so don't think
No, it was
66
pretty good.
it was perfectly chosen. I didn't accidentally get right. I've been on the track of the checkerboard people forever.
Literally the whole time they were talking about this, and you were bringing up the topic, talking about same-sex couples. I'm just thinking, this is the plot of Clone Wars.
That's crazy,
I
dude.
genuinely.
I didn't even think of that. My mind's blown for how accurate that point is.
That's why I've always been against I'm completely against this before I even get into it. I'm 100% against it. I love your point of adoption. That's the beauty of what it's the beauty of what it's there for. We already don't have enough homes. If a family wants to open up their home to a child that needs a home, that's a beautiful thing. To just make humans seems completely morally unethical to me.
Here's the truth, and this is a part of the conversation we're supposed to avoid and not acknowledge. Calling a spade is mean and racist, cruel, bigoted, whatever. But I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
I've got friends that my own cousin is adopted. And what I will say is I've seen the spectrum of it, where it's been successful, where it hasn't been. And so much of that comes down to the familial structure, the home. Like for the most successful familial adoptions, it's a caring household that truly puts in the effort and I don't know. I'm failing to articulate, like, there's tiers to even parenthood, and the higher success is due to a stronger household.
Yes.
I really do think if I were to take any of those people I'm thinking of in my head, and even the most wonderful gay couple, I still don't think it comes out as well as it does. And I'm sorry. I know you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to think that way, but there is a balance to that dynamic that is truly cheated for the child.
Well, it's a true nature versus nurture thing.
Yes. And man, I'd really like to hammer my point home with a Jordan Peterson clip that I don't have ready, which is when he was on Joe Rogan and he goes, the CEO of Disney has one trans and one non-binary child. He goes, the odds of having a non-binary child is like 1 in a million, he said, or 1 in 150,000. He had the statistic. And he goes, the odds of you having then 2 naturally is like 1 in 1 billion. So is it more likely that you hit the lottery of 1 in 1 billion, or is it more likely that you impress this upon your child or in some way manipulated it into their lifestyle? It is impossible to disregard that consideration in a household that is totally gay.
Yes.
It's totally gay. No matter how you cut it, like, yeah, you might have a super masculine Dwayne The Rock father, but then your other father's also a different balance. And it really just, it's different. It's just different. And it's not the same.
No.
And when things are not the same, some are better and some are worse. Don't hate facts and reality when that evaluation doesn't pan out the way you want it to. So I'm also stuck in this point where it's like, half of me doesn't even want you to have kids. And I suppress even walking out that logical debate, because the priority, what's more of a priority to me? This kid getting the perfect home ever, or, this kid being in a not so perfect home, or this kid never having a home.
Right.
It's like, you know what? I still don't think you're better than my mom and dad. Mom and dad, still don't think you're better than it. But you surely are better than a single parent, and you're surely better than no parent.
Right.
So I look the other way. But you making Petri dish babies and totally mucking up the gene pool on top of that? Like, we are going to be living, one of the conundrums we're going to be dealing with in the future generations. I truly believe this, and I'm going to always hold it against my dad, whether he's here or not. I'm always going to hold it against my dad that the Gurgad gene pool is tainted with this damn vaccine.
Yeah.
It's 100% his fault. You're not allowed to be in this house unless you have that vaccine. I didn't have a choice. But I do think moving forward, we're going to learn so much about the not vaccine. We're going to learn so much about the mRNA gene treatment,
right,
that I do think you're going to have a population of people's genes, probably the majority, whose DNA is tainted.
Yes.
Not ruined, but tainted.
It's in it.
And I think you're going to see a superiority complex where those that don't have it don't even want to mix their genes with that, let alone talk about the conversation of, boy, he looks like clavicular. He's freaking gorgeous. However, he was made in a Petri dish. What does that baby look like?
Yeah.
Please, you know what? Actually, I'm going to look it up so people don't get mad at me.
Also, what's with the vernacular that's come around this clavicular individual? I know you see it all over Twitter.
Well, he's living the Gen Z. I'm trying to find the skin condition where like the person has like white and black. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. God, I cannot think of the.
It's saying tinea versicolor, but that's not it. I know it's not.
It's like a pigmentation, right?
It is. There's a model that Winnie Harlow's most prominent fashion model with vitiligo.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so vitiligo. I'm not trying. Here's a fact about vitiligo. If a black person and a white person have a baby, the odds of that next baby having vitiligo go up. It's not the mixed child. So the white and the black person have a baby. That baby, when they reproduce, the odds of it having vitiligo go through the roof. So, but eventually you get over it. Like I'm not even saying it's a rarity. It's not even like a
it through the roof. It's still an very improbable thing.
So I only bring that up because it's like, look what happens when same exact DNA complex, almost in its entirety, except melanin, and there's different cellular structures minorly, but a biology book would tell you on its surface, 99% exact same match. Yeah. And yet there are genetic issues down the road, even for that mix.
Right.
What happens when you mix a purely godly grown reproduced human with a God Fauci lab grown human?
Hey, the beauty is we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Who's the guy from How I Met Your Mother? He's going to be the first one. He does lick his kids that he adopted.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, he definitely loves them.
Yeah, genuinely. I was thinking of the characters in the show. I had to think of the actors.
Yeah, no, you thought, boom. Him.
Yes.
Neil Patrick Harris will for sure be like, I'm sporting my new purse and my new baby.
I love how this conversation got in completely two different iterations of
Here's the beauty of this. I do think if we could have an assembly line of babies, just like we do our pork, chicken, beef, probably a lot less of our kids go missing. They'll just go eat those things. So we also need to make sure that Bill Gates, like, I don't know, puts MSG in them or something. Make them yummy, like the Bieber song. You're going to watch 850,000 kids go missing in America alone a year to like 2.
Yes.
And it's like the really good looking ones. Because the other ones, they're not as good as the MSG pumped baby. That one's yummy. Justin Bieber song.
Yes, it is a Justin Bieber song.
I think you've noticed the tone of this show ever since those files dropped totally changed. This show is back, baby. What it was when I started, I don't. At this point, it's burn it down. Burn it down.
Justin Bieber song.
It is a Justin Bieber song.
It's just yours is a complete conversation about the gene pool and it all being screwed up for future generations. And I'm just thinking of an island somewhere. We're just bumping these things out.
I don't know if
and both realities are potential.
Do you ever see the Dr. Seuss where like they're making little fur bear things with triangles on their stomach and a circle on its stomach and just spitting out babies out of that machine?
Yeah, I remember South Park did it, and it was for the armbands for like Lance Armstrong.
Lady Gaga is going to wear them as a dress to get her next Grammy. These are island babies. Hey,
I'm wearing the Island Boys.
The fact that those are probably Epstein kids. Have you been seeing that?
No, God. Seeing what?
Can of worms for another day. Hey, Ricky, what do you think of this whole ordeal?
That first clip though of that goat, that shit's crazy. I seen that like years ago, and they're breeding like I heard that goat clip. I heard about it like when you started this topic, and they're breeding the goat in the thing we had a discussion on this channel.
Wait, Ricky, just so we don't get the things that was a stock video.
Yes,
And that was the stock video of, yes, you're right, like 2 decades ago when they cloned the first lamb. Yes.
And look how far, I'm just saying, look how far we come now. And they're splitting shit. She's just getting crazier and crazier. We're going to have split-eyed people soon. You know what I mean?
What are you saying? That sounds racist. I feel like, stop Asian hate, Ricky.
I knew.
Bro, look at my eyes. What are you talking about? Like, come on now.
Ricky's so racist. He thinks if he just look at, I'm Chinese. What are you talking about? This is me.
Eyebrows up, bro. They still down.
Oh my God.
Ain't nothing racist about it. It's the facts. But so it's just getting crazier and crazier, man. In the future, like people literally going to be born with like no tongue because that's what they want their kids to be born with. Like, it's just going to be so weird in the future.
Can I break you guys? Because
I don't want to be here for it.
I've been living in the trenches for the last like 3 weeks. So I'm like all of the scarred PTSD I got over since 2020 by going through all these files and videos and pictures. It's all back times a million. And one of the things I read, yes, they buy children.
Yes.
But they also buy dolls, which is a thing I never knew about before this, which a doll is when they sedate a person.
Oh, okay.
Take all their bones out.
Cool. Whoa.
Take their eyes and their tongue out. And it is just an organic doll. Alive. Can't talk, can't think, can't move. If it wanted to, it literally has no bones. I'm saying that was a freaking human. The human mush mat in the middle of the bed can't even move. No bones.
What are they using it as?
These
Furniture?
are the good guys that the greatest, most transparent administration ever is like, what? Are we still talking about that? Dolls? Babies? Eating kids? Cannibalism? We're still talking about that? Yes. And we're not going to stop. In fact, the beauty of this moment, because you got to realize I've been dormant for like 3-4 years, just waiting.
Oh yeah, you've definitely
and now
been dormant.
It's break the dam. We're here. I grabbed the wrong clip the first time we talked about Paul Stamets, but the reality is this: it has gotten so bad, we cannot let them move on. Like we can't move on.
That's why I said weeks ago. I was like, I don't think this is the last.
No, you're right.
Because unfortunately,
and that's why the
open.
attitude towards this is totally different.
Yes.
Say it all, be it all. You guys got me in line because I was living through a world pandemic going, is anybody seeing this shit? And then I'm saying everything I have on my heart. And the algorithm was like, you said COVID, you said vaccine, you said goodbye to the shadow realm, you go. And I tried every time I'm a good little boy. I'm a good little goy. I say the things I need to say. And then I start working my way back. The views get better. And then I say God's chosen people. And we just, blah, 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 blah. And I play and I play. Now I'm done. Now it's say it all. Even if 3 people are getting the truth, that's enough. Because it's 3 more than if we just sat there and was like, we're still talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're still talking about that.
Oh, why not? It's fun. I've been laughing this whole time. Not like haha, necessarily. Well, there's been some ha-has, but also some scary ha-has. The doll thing scared me.
They totally turned the frogs gay, and they turned you gay too. Hey, let's get
now they're making petri dishes
for the gays, for the frogs.
Alex, real quick, someone did put in the chat, you should watch the movie The Island, and that's where they clone people to use for like harvesting their organs for the people that pay.
Have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
You've never seen that?
Yeah,
No.
it's like 20 years old.
It's
I think
like
it was
2002.
It was like Ian McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Ian McGregor, yes. Yep.
Yeah, it was early Scarlett Johansson, and I want to say it was Ian McGregor.
It is. Yep.
It was in between like one of the Star Wars. It was in between 2 and 3.
Yep.
Really?
He did like a movie, or maybe it's
Between
not that old.
1 and
Maybe
2
it's like right after 3, but it was around then. It was like mid 2000s.
So would you say it's worth checking out?
I mean,
With this
here's the thing. At the
topic-
time, I don't think the movie did necessarily well, but now considering they kind of always like telling themselves like 2-3 decades before truth kind of comes out. Yes, I do think it's kind of an interesting rewatch. Whoever the comment was, and Doug, good pull on that.
Gladiator, as always. I'm gonna have to check it out. Ricky, we've gotten so far off the rails. We've totally departed from the topic. So
I don't think we have.
you're right. You're right. We're the baby factories. We're still here. Any rapping thoughts for the whole ordeal?
Nah, man, it's just getting crazy. Shit getting wild out here, bro. Shit getting wild.
You're right.
I think it'll be crazy especially when in 20-30 years, because they're gonna do this. Like we're not stopping this. They're just essentially quietly saying this has already been happening. We're just softballing it to the public now. You're going to see so many people look alike, and they're not going to be twins, and they're going to be like 10-15 years apart, but they're going to look identical. And then
that's crazy.
And then they're going to say something like, "Oh, that's my uncle," and he's like 8 years older only. You're going to be like, "Oh my God, he looks just like you."
That's the craziest element.
Like, I think we could all agree
right.
of the friend group. I'm the one who looks closest to their father. I'm like a splitting image, and my dad is 40 years older than me. And this is telling me is, oh, you're going to have a lot of people look alike. A lot of them look alike. And that's when we're really going to start noticing.
Right. Doug, any rapping thoughts?
I would suggest you watch The Island because now I do want to go watch that again.
Honestly, me too.
I'm gonna. As we close out this conversation, it's important to zoom out from the emotion and look at the magnitude of what's really being debated. Because technologies like IVG don't arrive all at once. They arrive quietly, piece by piece, framed as solutions to sympathetic problems, fertility challenges, family expansion, medical advancement. And each step on its own feels reasonable. But history shows that when capability outpaces caution, society often finds itself asking ethical questions after the infrastructure is already built. Tonight's takeaway isn't that innovation should stop. It's that innovation without guardrails has consequences we may not fully understand until generations later. When reproduction moves from the human body to the laboratory, the definition of parenthood changes. The definition of lineage changes. Even the definition of what it means to be naturally human begins to blur. And once those lines are crossed, they're not easily redrawn. So whether one sees IVG as a miracle technology or a moral hazard, one thing is undeniable. We are entering an era where humanity has the power not just to create life, but to engineer the conditions under which life begins. And the question that will define this century isn't, can we do it? It's whether we fully understand what it means if we do.
Here, real quick, you want me to give you a quick summary of
Sure.
what the movie's about? It's 2005, so it was the year Revenge of the Sith came out. But it's about clones living in a utopian compound who discover they are being grown as organ donors for wealthy clients, leading to an escape and fight for freedom against the corporation that created them.
Love that.
So it very much is.
that is this future.
And again, that's
Way to go, Gladiator.
21 years ago.
That's wild.
So
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out for sure. All right, getting into our last topic, and then we got a fun game to close out. Just a fun game of Hangman. That's what we're going to be playing at the end of the episode. That being said, we're going to be getting to our final topic.